Hey everybody, long time no see, long time no hear from. I'm sorry that I have been on an extended hiatus. I have not forgotten about doing all the things on my channel that I had talked about doing before summer started. I will kind of play catch up right now. I'm doing a little something. I have been following a creator. Her channel is Kara Tootie, and I think her name is Ingrid Carlson. Excuse me. I've been following her on literally every platform, and I just love her ideas. So I'm kind of doing a little flip book that I found on her channel, just to have maybe to make some photographs on or to do some things, but I'm putting it together, and I thought I would do it on camera and post it and kind of give you guys an update as to what has been going on with me and why I've not been posting. Really, the past few months, I think since April or May, it has been very difficult, just everything going on. I had COVID twice, two different strands, I think, of COVID, and two different experiences. The first time I was pretty sick, and it took me a while to feel better. And then the second time I didn't have any symptoms, but my fiance did. And so he was sick the second time, and I was kind of playing nursemaid. But the thing that gave it away was the exhaustion. If you've had COVID, then you probably know what I'm talking about. There's a different type of COVID, a different type of tired when you have COVID. I tend to struggle a lot with fatigue, and I, have a doctor that has told me she thinks that I have fibromyalgia because I have a lot of body pain and things like that. And so fatigue is not anything new for me. But when I say COVID fatigue, I mean absolute COVID fatigue. It is a just all-encompassing like you can barely hold your head up type fatigue. And so I know there were a few of you that reached out to me in my absence on Instagram and here on YouTube. And I really appreciate everybody that has checked in with me. And I'm sorry that I have not been able to really get back to every single message that I did receive. I do appreciate every little bit of support, and just the camaraderie in this community is so encouraging at a time when the world seems like a very unfriendly place. So I did want to thank you all for being concerned and for reaching out and offering your support and offering your well wishes and all of that while I was out of commission. There were days where I really just couldn't even sit at my desk to do anything. Most of you probably know, if you haven't been following me or haven't really been watching my videos, you may not know that I teach online. I teach virtually. I'm an art teacher, and I haven't really been working from a desk. Most of the time I'm working from either bed or from, I do have an office, but a lot of times I end up working from my couch here lately, just because I've been so very tired that it's just been very difficult to even sit at a desk for seven hours a day. And so by the time by the end of the day, working my virtual job, my day job, I would get really tired of sitting in front of a computer and did not want to film or edit anything. I've been very unmotivated with that. I have gotten back to creating and posting things, not as often as I should be, to keep myself honest, and to keep myself continuing to create every day. But even if it's just cutting things out of a magazine or doing prep work for projects. I have been doing some things, but I haven't been doing it, you know, in a finished type of way where I could really show you anything I was working on. So I am trying to remedy that now. I'm starting to feel better. I'm starting to get kind of my my energy back, at least to a normal degree for me, and decided to start filming to kind of give you guys an update. So some things I've been working on, like I said, I've been following a lot of creators who've given me ideas. I've been making a lot of things. One thing that I'm currently obsessed with is making tiny little tags. And again, you know, if you follow my channel or have been watching any of my videos, you may see that I like to reuse materials that I have around my house that would have otherwise gone in the trash. One of my favorite things to do is recycle things and give things new life. So even an old book at the thrift store becomes something new. I love to use cardboard particularly, and craft paper, like paper bags that I get at the grocery store. Our grocery stores locally use those bags because of city ordinances. So I always have a ton of them in supply. And so I take all of my scrap cardboard that I can. I do have a surplus of it right now, but it seems like every other day I have like a packaging with lots of cardboard. And I kept thinking, how do I use these little pieces? And I'm covering the back with craft paper. And I'm creating little tiny tags. And to give you a kind of an idea of how big they are, this is a paper clip. And you can see they're very tiny. I'll show you one that's kind of finished. I don't know why I love these so much, but they're just so teeny tiny and so cute. And it's a good quick thing that I can do with materials that would probably get thrown in the trash. So save your cardboard. I'll show you. I've been making lots of little tiny tags, and adding sentiments to them is my favorite part, but even as tiny as, you know, a fingernail, which you can tuck in little spots in a journal if you have, you know, a journal. So that's something that I've been working on. If I'm too tired to do a full project or to plan something out, like, you know, this isn't necessarily a full project, but, you know, if I'm too tired to do something this extensive, then I can always just do that. Pull from my tags and make a couple of tags. I also am getting really into altered paper clips, which I am trying to post on my Instagram a lot so that you see things that I'm making each day. But making these little tags has been so much fun. And making the paper clips, the altered paper clips, is a lot of fun too, because they can go on a little book or a little book page and become something new. And then, again, I've been following Cara Tootie, and she's making these little tiny books with just leftover paper that you can kind of soft bind and then add things to. If you haven't followed her, follow her, because she has some great ideas and some really pretty designs, and she has a good eye for art and design, I think. So I've been working on some things like this today and just kind of going through trying to figure out what to do with this flip book. This is from some trash. Surprise, surprise. This is from my contacts box. I got a box of contacts and I tore it apart. And I'll probably use these for tags. But I decided to make this little flip book that I saw on Cara Tootie's channel. And so it can be used anyway, like you can flip it out anyway, but essentially you're just taking pieces of cardboard and taping them together to fold into each other. and it's going to look like this when it gets done. I'm covering the parts that weren't white, and then I think I'm just going to cover the white parts too. I'm just giving it a background, and then I'm going to add embellishments on top of it and layers on top of it. And I'll kind of insert a screenshot of what I come up with at the end. But I thought I would craft on cam. So if you're still hanging around, if you're still following along, or if you are still getting notifications from my channel, let me know how you're doing. Let me know what's up in your neck of the woods. I will say here we're still in Bluffton. The possibility is that we will be moving again back to Tennessee. Ryan's family has an illness, and it is likely that we will need to move home for a period of time anyway, to help in that situation. But I will say that we will be sad if we leave here. We have been kind of recovering, I'll say. We didn't get much of Ian, but we dodged Ian. We were preparing for a direct hit from Ian, and at the last moment it kind of turned north and went more into the Charleston area. So really all we got here of Ian was some wind and some rain. Not even a whole lot of rain, to be honest. It was no flooding, no anything major. I don't think there was any damage here, which we were really thankful for. I've never been through a full hurricane before, so that was, concerning. My mother was probably growing a few gray hairs over the few days that we were trying to keep up with what, Ian was going to do. And she had, told us, please come home, please come home. And, we knew it wasn't going to hit us directly. It was going to hit Florida. And then all of a sudden it decides to take a veer off into the ocean and then come back and try to hit us from the other angle. And we got very lucky. It is my understanding that Charleston did have some flooding, and even Myrtle Beach had flooding, as far north as Myrtle Beach. So we really did dodge a bullet. But we did the whole hurricane preparedness thing. We went and made sure we had batteries. I made sure I had my medication, everything, that we needed for food for a few days. And we were going to ride it out because, the locals, of course, were not very worried about it. They don't get been out of shape like us Tennesseans do about some wind and rain. And they all said, it's going to be wind and rain. You'll be fine. And I think even them, for a little while, they were probably a little bit nervous when they saw that it was coming back our direction. But they did close the bridge to Savannah, the Talmadge Bridge. It was the morning that Ian was supposed to hit our area. So we would not have been able to go south that way. We would have had to have gone around. So that was a little concerning. We were, thinking, well, if they're closing bridges, that's probably, they're expecting some good storm. But, I think that was precautionary because of the Talmadge Bridge is pretty high. And, our local bridges here in Hilton Head didn't close. So we really, like I said, we dodged a bullet. We were super happy that we didn't experience any tornadoes or anything like that. Thankfully, hopefully, we don't have any more hurricanes that actually hit this season. We're hoping that there's no major anything. We were really worried mostly about tornadoes, and then mostly about flooding because our vehicles are out there. We live on a second floor, and so we weren't super worried about, you know, necessarily being in any danger from flooding. And we're far enough from the ocean where we're sitting here in Bluffton that, you know, we wouldn't have had to worry about storm surge. So you know, we weren't super worried about that part of the storm. It was mostly just our vehicles. We didn't want to worry about, you know, trees landing on them or flooding, anything like that. And, you know, God is good. We managed to dodge that. So hopefully, I don't know if I have any followers that are from this area, but if I do, let me know, you know, did you have any damage from Ian? Watching that footage and watching the TikToks and the videos of people who were, you know, stranded in the water and literally, you know, in a dangerous situation because of that storm. It was heartbreaking. I'm still super concerned about the area. From what I've read, a lot of people are still without any kind of power. You know, I don't think that Sanibel is going to recover very quickly. People have lost everything, but also, you know, I don't know that they know how many people that they lost in the storm. And that's the most heartbreaking part of it, is things can be replaced, but people cannot be. And the idea that there may be even elderly people out there that could not get themselves out of harm's way in time is very scary and sad. So I'm hoping that, you know, that if you're listening to this video, if you're here with me, that that you came through that storm without losing anything, but especially without losing anyone. Just a horrible thing that we have to deal with from time to time. These huge storms seem to be getting bigger. It's actually a little bit frightening how many significant storms we've had over the past 10 years in our country. But anyway, a happier topic. I have started back to school for the school year, and it is going well. This crafting and journaling has really helped me to, I think, to be more creative with my students. It's also given me something to relieve my stress. You know, I kind of struggle with, especially as an artist, what am I going to do with all these things? It feels like no one's going to see them. And so it almost feels like, what am I doing these projects for? Why am I creating? But then I remind myself that not everything that you create as an artist has to be seen by somebody. Not everything that you create is going to be valuable to someone. Sometimes it's the process of creating. Sometimes it's what do we need to learn in the process of creating something that's going to make us a better artist. And yeah, so that's kind of where I'm trying to remind myself that that creating these things is not always about who's going to see them, or are they going to be part of a bigger collection. Sometimes it's just about that day. And I saw a quote on Facebook, a friend that I have shared, and it was about, you know, taking out your frustrations and your feelings. Everybody seems to have anxiety these days. There's so many unknowns and so many, I think, you know, unsettled, or things that make us feel unsettled these days, that we really have to find a channel for those, because It's easy to feel like you're going to lose your mind a little bit when, you see these terrible things happening all over the world, and, terrible stories. You read terrible stories and see terrible things happening. Or maybe you have a job that's highly stressful, which, teaching can be. And, healthcare and public service, any kind of public service job, all of those things can be very stressful. It's good for us. It's like exercise. It's, we don't just need to exercise our body. We need to exercise our soul, our mind, our emotions, our creative muscles. Those need to be exercised too, because they're the things that make life fun and worth living. So that's what I'm struggling with at the moment. Trying to say, why should I create something today if no one's going to see it? Or no one's going to, it's not going to help anyone. It's going to help me. That's why I should create today. And trying to tell myself, it's kind of like an affirmation. I'm going to create because I need to create for myself. So yeah, if you're struggling with that too, then just know it's important to create because it makes us healthier mentally. It makes us more rounded as human beings. Puts us in touch with things that other things we can do, other activities we can do, don't necessarily address. So keep that in mind. Anyway, I don't know exactly what I'm going to do with this book. I know the example that Kara Tootie used, she put like photographs, or she put, I think it was the sentiments, or not sentiments, the embellishments from, she uses a lot of those embellishments of people from the Tim Holtz collection. And she'll make like clusters, and she'll put them together. And I think I'll do something kind of like that, but I don't really use those type of embellishments. It's just not really what my work usually looks like. So I don't know. I may need to do some mark making. Maybe I'll do some collage or something like that. I do have these little bags of things that I've been doing. Sometimes when I'm bored, I'll just mark make on post-it notes, sorry. And, play with bold lines. I love to use the big permanent markers. And then I've started doing some little tiny, in my journal, I'll do some little tiny things like this, where I'll just make marks, and that would kind of be interesting in here. So collage, I'll probably collage with this. I haven't really made a plan yet. I think since I'm kind of at a point where I've covered the background, I may stop here and add to it after everything's completely dry, because the first layer I did, the box was very shiny. The texture was very shiny, so I used wet glue. I used tacky glue to put this first layer on, and then I've been really into using just glue sticks to put things together now. Used to, I would use wet glue for everything, and I feel like this makes me faster using the glue sticks. But the glue sticks were not sticking to the shininess of the box. You can kind of see there at the white part, there's like a shiny foil or something. So I had to wet glue, and it's still a little damp. So I think I'll let it dry and then maybe add some things to it, either collage or maybe make this like a little memory flip where I put some ticket stubs or some things that I've done here lately in them. But I thought this was really fun. You can really take anything. I always tell my students, You don't have to have fancy materials. Literally use what your mom would throw away. You know, cereal boxes and Amazon packages, and another thing I've been doing, whenever I buy something that has like plastic packaging, is I am embossing the plastic. I'll just cut out as much as I can of the flat plastic, and I'll emboss the plastic. So that's something I've been doing to save this plastic and try to reuse it. And I'll show you, I made a little pocket that I am going to tuck into something bigger with the plastic, the little plastic window there, that's embellished. So I thought that was kind of cute. Some more things I've been doing. I have been making little notepads out of scrap paper, just to kind of tuck into things and to journal in if I want. I made this last night, so I haven't done anything in it, but I thought that was fun. So I've been kind of playing with a lot of different things. I've been very unfocused on one big project, where I was making, you know, a whole journal, or I've been doing mostly embellishment and making clusters of things, and I'll show you some clusters. So just little, I've found I am really drawn to I do love lots of color, but I also love neutrals. And I don't know if it's because of how aged it looks, but you could take little clusters and add them to these books as well to decorate. So just some ideas there. But anyway, I've been doing a lot of little things like that and have a bunch piling up. So I really do need to probably start in a journal or start a new journal. Maybe I will start using this little one that I made with the Caratootie tutorial and see what I can do with it, because it's just a small one. It, you know, takes 5 or 6 scrap pieces of paper and fold it in half. And you'd be surprised what embellishments you can fit in this size of a book. So so those are some things I've been working on, kind of just catching you up on what I've been doing, and letting you know I am still alive and I'm doing okay. I will keep you updated on my journey. Let me know what you're up to. I would love to hear from some of you and see what you guys have been doing, and follow along with your journey as well. As always, happy crafting.